What up, though, everybody? This is the Pop Culture 223 podcast. This is the beginning of season 2. We ended season 1 a couple weeks ago, but this is season 2. So we popping off with 2 new gentlemen. I'm appreciative that they was able to show up today. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. My auntie, I ain't gonna say her name on here. You know, she too famous already. But she put me on to some people that she said I need to talk to, so I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Yes, sir.
And tell me, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about what you do, where you come from, and yeah, that's about it. So, Chip, I'm gonna let you go first, and then your bro can go next.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for the opportunity for being here today. Moving forward, my name is Donald Agee, but everyone knows me as Chip. I'm a former city councilman of the city of Ecorse, which I've been living in that downriver area, which that's Rouge, Ecorse, and Southwest Detroit. Been born and raised in the area forever. I've been working with politicians, law enforcement, and the community as far as trying to better their community. And my family have a family business that's been there since 1955, which is the famous shoe shop on Visitor Road, which now I operate, and I mentor kids that throughout the years come in there and work and teach them life skills about life, and also trying to keep them wearing some good shoes on their feet.
There you go.
Stink Pink Gators, my Detroit player, has them the hooligans of Brooklyn.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, also, don't mean to interrupt, KJ, but we got a different pad here too, man.
See, that's a demotion.
Yeah, that was a technical difficulty.
That's 50 cents off the payment.
That was a technical difficulty there, but we still got claps and a few things if you really want.
You ain't got. I got it on me.
Nah, man.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I meant to ask you about that. I should have, but
Yeah.
But go ahead.
All right, my name's John Tate, actually Jonathan Tate, but everyone calls me John.
Can I call you Big Tate?
You can call me Big Tate.
Cause you look like a Big Tate.
Big
Suge.
Big
Tate.
Tate.
Big
Hey, I go down. I'm like,
Big
where Big
JT.
Tate at?
Right. Who?
JT,
Don't
Big Tate,
trip like you don't know who Big JT is. Now, come on.
But yeah, born and raised in River Rouge. I've actually lived in Ecorse and Southwest Detroit as well. Actually was a former school board member in River Rouge.
Okay.
My big thing is service. I actually currently work in law enforcement for the past 10 years. And before that, it was juvenile justice, working with troubled youth. I say misguided youth because kids pretty much do what they've been taught or not, But so that's pretty much what I do. I'm a proud father, 2 teenage young brothers, and love them dearly. Spend a lot of time with my brother right here to my right. And, we always talk about how we can do things better, how we can serve, so we're really big on that.
Okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
So if anybody wanted just paying attention or watching, so the BMF series, that's the downriver area.
Stay hood.
That's kind of like the area where all that's being taped and shown. That's kind of where we from. I grew up. I'm a little generation behind them.
To my little.
I'm behind them a little bit, but I also grew up out there, man. Like I said, that community has always been like family. Like you walk outside, you do something bad, you may get your ass whooped all the way up and down the street. Yeah. That's what it used to be.
Everybody know
You know
everybody.
what I'm saying? I can remember out there 4th of July. They'd even block off the street, just the neighborhood blocked off the street. And we had fireworks all up and down the whole area. You didn't have to go downtown Detroit to waterfront. You just go out there to Ecorse, the Rouge, and just walk outside. Somebody had a box. Somebody drove to Ohio, the city limits, and dropped it. Hey, man, we got these fireworks from Ohio. Somebody had that bag, and we had to pick it up. Everybody contributed, got in, and got them fireworks. So I remember the good old days, man. But now I drive out there sometimes, it's like, man, it's a little depressing. But how long was you on city council, Chip?
7 years.
7 years.
7 good years with the city of Ecorse. And like you said, it was wonderful years in the past, and that's what I was trying to bring to the future, because I see that a lot of things have changed. And it changed in the way, but I know the whole world has changed. First of all, let me say that. I'm not just going to blame it on Ecorse and Rouge and Southwest that changed. It's a different culture out there. And, when me and my brother, we sitting in the shoe shop trying to talk to the young folks to let them that it's not okay to go to jail. They think that's cool.
Right.
You know, they want to walk around packing guns. I'm like, what you packing a gun for?
Right.
Get a job.
Right.
You know, just trying to change the atmosphere and really renewing of the mind because we're trying to change that mindset for our young men that's out there.
Because I know Big Tate said, misguided youth. So, he took that, we'll go elaborate on that a little bit more.
The thing is when children are born, they're blank slates.
Mm-hmm.
They come here with no expectations. They come here ignorant. They don't have a clue of what to do or even what to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job as the elders in the village to guide them in the way they should go. So I don't say bad kids. I don't say, that's why I had to correct myself saying trouble. I mean, we all had trouble in some form of fashion in life, but they're misguided. I had a guy one day, we were at the basketball court, and a younger kid asked him, he was an adult, he's older than me. He said, man, why didn't you go to college and play basketball? He said, because somebody fronted me some dope. So he went to the streets and this guy's a phenomenal, talented guy, that could play basketball, sing, dance, cut hair, but, somebody fronted him some dope, so he went in the street. So when I say misguided, it's the adults or the elders in the village responsibility to guide the children in the way they should go, our youth. So we can blame everybody else, but we got to look in the mirror first.
So I'm gonna flip this back on you, Chip. So when you was a city council, how important is it to be out there in the city, talking to your constituents, making them feel safe in a community where it's a lot of violence? Like, how important is it to get out there? Because you may see people come out there just to get the vote and then bounce, and then you may not see them no more. You may not hear them until is election time, especially in our community, especially how close Ecorse and how small comparative to like Detroit. Like, how is it important to go out there and actually communicate, shake hands, and kiss babies out there in the community?
Man, I'm so glad you asked that question because it's so important because you have some people that's run for these positions and just come out there just for election time. You won't see them no more.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm born and raised out there. So people knew me, knew my family, knew my friends. So I have a better relationship with folks. And if we have issues, they'll come to me.
Right.
And when you sit on those panels on the board, you have a voice to be heard. You can maybe request more police officer to get things done. Like, we had the sheriffs come in and try to back up some of our police officers. Also, Wayne County, came out there too as well to give us more police presence because, nowadays you don't have a lot of police presence, and that's an issue.
Because people don't even want to be police officers no more. So it's hard. It's the pay scale or whatever. And then I seen the other day, like, I don't know, Detroit police officers, somebody came up and shot the car up, or they got in a shootout. The guy would just like walk by and just start spraying or something like that. I didn't read into it, but nowadays, it's hard to get police officers to come, be police because it's a lot of, inherited. It's a lot of danger out there.
It's a lot of danger, and like you said, it is a lot of kids don't want to be police officers, because what we saw on the news or with the cameras now, you see what some of these officers did, but that's not all officers. I know some good brothers out there that's protecting and serving our communities. But you got some that did some bad things, but the guys that I know now, we getting old.
Mm-hmm.
You can't walk the beat no more, man. We 40 years old. You can't talk about chasing someone 20 years old. It ain't going to happen.
Right.
It ain't going to happen, man. Talk about that now. You got to get them youth in there to be police officers. So you got to change that mindset and change the image of police officers. And can we do that? That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
So how hard is it to crack the code with the old heads trying to get new and improved stuff out there or evolve the city? Especially because I know Rouge is, Rouge and Ecorse got new high schools, but Rouge, they win the state championship, the football team, everybody want to go to Rouge. Everybody from the West want to go all the way to Rouge now.
East side too.
East side. I know when we used to play, because I was from Borges, when we used to play Ecorse and Rouge, I was like, oh, that's light work. I'm about to go put up 40s.
What?
Football was like, hey, we about to put up 60. You know what I'm saying? Like Rouge, I don't think we play Rouge, but as far as basketball, we was Bishop Borges and Rouge. It was a conflict. It was only like 2 years because one of our kids transferred from Borges to Rouge, DeWes Henderson. So it was just that little kind of like
dude.
Stone and them. We know
Yeah.
I know Stone and them. They know
That's
me.
my old coach.
Yeah, we know them. So, but like, how is it? Is it hard to get like new things going on out there, like the old heads to see the newer ways for the new folks?
Well,
Why you look at Big Tate?
because me and him both know he was on the school board and me being on the council, and then, you know, we kind of go off the years when we was playing ball out there, and then, like you said, you had a lot of these kids coming from different communities. They're not homegrown like we were. We was homegrown. His family was my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I do remember DeWes. DeWes, great player. And I remember when he came on board, and I was thinking that because actually I was an assistant coach at that time, and I said, wow, they got a new kid. I think we should say something like from out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? But he was a big fella, so I was like, we gonna win this. We good.
Right,
we winning.
right.
But
and the great Brent Darby.
oh
You know,
yes, rest in peace,
my
cuz.
brother.
Yeah, Brent Darby, that's family.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Now let me ask you guys this: were you guys both serving those positions at the same time? You were on the school board while you were in council?
Actually, I was on the school board first,
Okay.
and then my brother decided he wanted to run for city council.
Okay.
You know,
So we were actually able to bounce ideas and things off of each other.
Sure did.
You know, because I had jumped off in there first, and then, you know, when he
my
came
brother right here.
along,
That's what I'm talking about.
you know, so again, we learned so much working together.
Right.
We can do more
Right.
working together. So
Power
yeah,
in
that's
numbers.
what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Like-minded people, man. Like just putting great like-minded. First of all, great black like-minded brothers coming together and pushing, changing the narrative, right?
That's
Absolutely.
it. That's it.
So tell me your what you do in your little day to day, so we can get an understanding.
My day to day, I work with convicted felons, you know, under community supervision. So what I do is we work in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies to supervise, you know, convicted felons who were highly assaultive or violent, you know, backgrounds.
Okay.
And you basically work with them to make sure they try to get job training, you know, equipment for certain jobs. If they want to go to school, you know, skilled trades, employment.
And you guys help out with all of that.
Right.
Okay.
We help out with all of that. So, you know, I love what I do, you know, because a lot of people don't want to work with people who are labeled convicted felons.
Right.
You know, for me, it's like being in my neighborhood trying to help people out.
Right.
You know, so, and I look at it different because a lot of the people that I serve look just like me. So I take it more personal. It's a labor of love versus a job.
Got you. And just to add to that, I'm glad you went that direction because I was just about to ask you this. That's something similar. Two-part question, more or less. Do you also deal with juveniles? And secondly, have you ever had a person that you're trying to, you know, help rehabilitate that literally may have gone back off the rail and then it kind of hurt you to, you know, maybe not to the core, but like you kind of, you know, on a personal level, like, dang, I really wish this brother or this sister would have, you know, been able to get themselves together, but they back in the system type of thing. Have you ever had something like that happen?
So to answer your first question, I used to work with juvenile offenders, you know, people, you know, that were kind of wayward, you know, wayward or misguided youth. I did that actually back around about 20 years ago.
Okay.
That was challenging because I could pour all this stuff into them, but they're going back home to their dysfunctional environment.
Right.
You know, but for me, it was still, my mom told me, she said, if you help one kid, you've done your job.
There you go.
If it takes 20 years, you've done your job. And I was able to see certain kids, you know, turn the corner. So that kind of fueled working with adults, you know, which is what I work with now. I've seen time and time again, you know, people that had so much potential, you know, super intelligent, super talented, and they just, a lot of it is environment, you know, and the mindset, you know, because, growing up under the poverty line, you know, in my situation, I still had a village, whether it was a drunk at the liquor store or a neighbor down the street or a big cousin or uncle. I always had somebody saying, hey, don't go there, go this way, you know, or go, keep working, like keep a job, keep, you know, going to school, you know. So I had that. So I'm the product of a village.
Got you.
And I've had so many situations with people where it's like, man, I can lay out a blueprint for them, and all they got to do is follow the blueprint with the resources available. But they want, you know, the alternative route. And unfortunately, I could think of like one situation where a guy, you know, he got an opportunity really to be under community supervision versus going to prison. And when I looked at his offense and everything, I was like, yeah, they probably gonna send him to prison, but they didn't. So I'm like, I told him to his face, I said, man, you have a golden opportunity to turn your life around. So for a while, he was on point. You know, he was working, he was staying out the way, he got some transportation, and then started drinking, and same environment, you know, and it just snowballed in the wrong direction.
Right.
And, you know, unfortunately, he lost his life. You know, but he had the potential, he had the opportunity.
Right.
You know, but you have to take full advantage of the resources and the opportunities, because if you don't,
right,
what's the alternative? The alternative is, you know, sitting in the prison for all day or life, or it costs you your life.
Right.
Now, I got a question to go back to a little bit of juvenile. When you were dealing with in the juvenile situation, how many of those situations you went into that the father wasn't present?
I would say 99%.
Dang. And the ones that did, you seen the big dramatic. When the family structure was there, you seen a dramatic change. You could see change happening.
I did. One kid that I think of in particular, he had a mother and a father and a, you know, good village, and sweet kid, and his name escapes me, but this guy actually was skipping school because his friend was getting abused physically by his mom's boyfriend. So when you had poor attendance or you had, you know, some adjudications or got in trouble with the law, you know, you ended up coming by me,
right,
you know, in the juvenile justice program. But the kid had a solid foundation, like as far as his family. So long story short, you know, him and his mom sat down. His dad, we spoke on the phone, and I said, what's going on? Why are you missing so much school? He said, I got to make sure my homeboy has food, like breakfast, and I give him money to catch the bus to go to school. So I said, man, do you know where he live at? Give me his, you know, I need his name, his phone number. So he did all that. I got CPS involved.
Right.
Kid started coming to school every day. He was merely missing school
to help
his friend.
Wow.
And then his friend, you know, ended up on point, you know. So, but he had a solid foundation as far as his family structure. Mother and father involved, siblings, you know, aunts, uncles, like everything. And that makes a world of difference. And even if you don't have blood relatives, sometimes, and I see it with Chip all the time, you know, and I'm put his business out there, he doesn't have children of his own, but he's mentored and tried to school so many.
Right.
And by him may not even being blood relatives with those kids, you know, the fact of the matter is he's in the village and he's a part of it, and he's active.
He's a part of their family.
He's available, you know.
That's what's up.
Say it take a village, right, to raise the kids.
So, like when I was coaching on the west side in Brightmoor, West Side Broncos, and I said this before, like we was out there to coach football, but you know, them kids, them mamas drop them kids off and they bounce. So now we gotta pay for kids, you know what I'm saying, to play. We see the situation, they maybe come to the field with torn up, you know, shoes or this, and this. So it came more of a coaching, just coaching football to mentoring these kids, trying to keep these kids safe for a couple hours,
right,
because they didn't want to go back to the hood, to the house they was on, and we had to feed the kids.
Right.
And it was more, but I became like, okay, those was my those was my little sons. Those was my little nephews.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's right.
even to this day, they call me and I can help or point them in a direction. I'm gonna give them game. Now, if they take it and apply it, that's on them. But I let them know I'm available to you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know where you coming from. Like, I was out there for almost 16, 17 years, and it was like, this is more than football.
Exactly.
Giving back to my neighborhood, giving back to where I came from, because the coaches that was out there put so much into me. Back then, it was like every coach was a sheriff or a DPD officer, so it was a presence of police officers there. Now out there
It's kind of scarce.
it's kind of scarce. The game has changed as far as how these kids, you know, that's another subject. But go ahead, Chad. I know you wanted to
As
elaborate on
men, young black men, it's our job to reach one, teach one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we gonna be held accountable. That's why it's so important to, if you see a kid do something wrong, we know how to approach that young fella. You know, hey, brother, come on, man, you could be better than that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people will be scared to say something to the kid because they of the backlash they're gonna get, but you cannot be scared of them. And they looking for love, man.
Mm-hmm.
They lacking love in this community, all our community, and like you said, that may not be our child biologically, but that's our son,
Right.
and my daughters, regardless.
Right. And then, like, well, y'all know my family.
Yeah.
Grandma had 16, 17 kids coming out that door. It was feed everybody on the block. I didn't know who they be, like, you know, such. I'm like, no, I don't remember them. Oh, grandma fed. Okay. Grandma did. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those Sunday at church. Got to church, go to grandma. We went to more like. My mama still goes.
Oh, yes.
She was in more like today. My auntie went to Mount Zion. I was there too, Reverend Barlow.
And see, them the churches that was a big pillar in the community coming up.
Hey, don't worry about it.
You
Go
know
ahead
what I'm
and
saying?
talk your talk.
All that. You know what I'm saying? Barlow was a big mentor. And
Right.
my grandfather
Right.
would come in a shoe shop and talk about what we're going to do for the community. Then my uncle, John Gordy, rest in peace, he was at Gordy Memorial. And so that was their thing because they grew up out there.
Right.
So they had the love for the community.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but some has lost that vision and don't have that togetherness with the community. You know?
Things have changed. So talk a little bit about the you called yourself, what was your, a shoe engineer? What did you call yourself? I heard you say it and I was like, it caught me off guard. I was like, wait a minute.
The
Shoe
proper way
engineer,
you
wait a
say
minute.
the shoe cobbler. See, I work for Economy Shoe Repair. That's the family business, Economy Shoe Repair. So we fix shoes as far as resoling the shoe. We save souls, literally and physically. We saving souls in there. We trying to teach them about the word of God, everything.
Okay.
But women heels, we cut them down. We sold the red bottoms of the Louboutins shoes that these ladies have, and they walk on them and they scratch them up. I put the red sole back on them.
So you hear that, ladies? So you got found some Louis sitting somewhere on some red bottoms.
Right.
Holla at Chip. He gonna fix them for you.
Right there on 579 Visick Road in the city of Ecorse, which has been there, like I said, since 1955. And my grandfather has hired a lot of people in Rouge, Ecorse, and that Southwest Detroit area. Has come through there. And they come through there today and say, man, your granddaddy gave me my first job. People I never, maybe about 70. Talking about your granddaddy gave me your first job.
That's what's up.
Hey, I got some Gucci's I got to get redone because I'm not about to buy another pair.
What about sneakers, man? Y'all do sneakers too, or is it certain
I'm
sneakers?
glad you
We
asked
got
that because
sneakerheads out there that
sneakers,
wanna know, too. I'm a sneakerhead.
I had a young guy by the name Marcel, and we was doing sneakers. But when he came on board, it just took it to another level. This is what he do.
Okay.
I mean, the inside the shoe, the bottom of the sole of the shoe.
Oh, so y'all do sneakers out there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we do it. Yes, we do it.
I'm gonna get all this information so I can post it in the comments so y'all can go check him out.
And them sneakers is you got the Dior shoes, you got the Yeezys, people dropping them in. You figure some of these folks paying from $300 to $1,000 for some gym shoes.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Come on, man. You know you bought some Gators.
You
walk in with Gucci's on
now
today.
see, I'm stuck in the old school because I, as a kid, I said, now in my time, I'd rather walk in with some Gators instead of some Jordans.
Right.
But no, they going to a job interview in some J's.
It's insane.
The Jordan 1s.
Right.
Hey, I can't wait to go to conference with some Jordan 1s.
Patent leather 11s.
Pat Leather,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
He's a sneaker. He still be buying them.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
You know?
Easter this past. Remember, Mama
I
used to
keep-
take you
I
to the
keep 'em
store.
low, man. I got on some Greek freaks right now, the special edition. That's that's why I asked. I'm a sneakerhead.
Hey, I asked my mom. I say, Mom, we going to Easter shop and get them lizards. We gonna go get them lizards, man. Hey,
Man.
but I got a question, Chip.
Yes, sir.
Tate, when you, cause I like, how do you assess the? Is it a level like 1, 2, or 3 when you assess the threat level, like when you put somebody back in the community or like your day to day with that on your job, but do you let a Chip know like, look, I got this situation over here. Do you kind of like give him a heads up like, hey?
Well, I'm technically not in his area as far as my
Your region,
area, my region that I work in.
Okay.
But as far as threat levels, yeah, those are assessed pretty much in what's called the PSI stage, pre-sentence investigation. So when someone is convicted of a felony or they going through the court process, part of the process is the PSI, which is the pre-sentence investigation. It's an actual report. And then there are assessments also that, allow us to figure out what someone's threat level is, to the community or supervision level. So, you may have somebody who's maximum. You may have somebody that's minimum or medium. It just depends on, the nature of the crime and, their criminal background and things of that nature. So it's a process. You don't just look at them and say, yeah, you're a big dude, we gonna put you on max, just because of the way you look, so it is a process.
So how much training do you go through to assess like somebody's mental stability or where you're at mentally? Do they give you the tools you need to do your job? Like,
I am thoroughly trained, and then, my minor in undergrad was psychology. So a lot of the stuff that I learned in college, and I read, so I pay attention to, signs, because if you pay attention to people, you'll be able to tell if they're having a good day or a bad day by looking in their eyes.
Right.
And then no matter how agitated someone may be, I always keep a professional, calm tone, because what happens naturally, they'll start to calm down. So I get annual training, as far as certain signs to look for in people and being aware of certain, mental diagnoses like, schizophrenic, bipolar, things of that nature. Or, again, just someone who may be depressed or just having a tough time or a bad moment or a bad year.
Right.
So I just try to be professional with it, because I am trained, so I can't make that excuse that I'm not trained, but also pay attention to people, because, again, what I do is to serve people in my profession. Law enforcement isn't just enforcing the laws. The other part of it is public safety.
That's it.
Amen. Say it again. Public safety.
Public safety.
Yes, sir.
So this just came to mind. So I don't know if, like, when you see a boyfriend that's supposed to be on the PPO or whatever, then he get out and then he go kill his girlfriend or whatever the situation, do you be like, man, somebody dropped the ball on that one, on him, because he wasn't processed right, or he just got something just went through the cracks, or you know what I'm saying? Because I done seen it too many times that they made a claim he supposed to be locked up, but then he get out and then he do some harm to them.
From my experience, there's two things that come to mind. One, the system is perfect, but it's imperfect. When I say perfect, I mean as far as, the ideology of, rules and regulations, because you have to have it.
Right.
Otherwise it's just wild, wild west.
Right.
So the ideologies and the makeup of the system, I think is great in that sense. The imperfect side of the system is, you have human error. You have people that may not take the time or even have the time to make a proper assessment, making a decision between remanding somebody or letting them out on bond. And then last but not least, you have a lot of people who don't follow up in domestic violence situations as far as the court part. Like, I give you an example. Me and my buddy got shot at. I used to wear Cartier glasses, and we were out walking just for lunch on our break. And long story short, they caught the guys because, I'm a car guy, so I described the car to the police, and my buddy had memorized the license plate because they were circling, because you can feel when something's not right.
Right.
And we decided early in the game that we would never miss any court date or procedures. So what happened is, we saw the case all the way through, and the shooter got locked up in prison. So what happens in domestic violence situations is, one day it's he jumped on me or she jumped on me, because it does happen.
Yeah, it
And
does.
then the next day is like, oh, we're cool. But the police report has been filed, and you call the police, and then they took him into custody. But people don't follow through, and they don't cooperate with law enforcement. So it's like, I've seen people come in and out of court, and they say case dismissed because we don't have any witnesses. And I want to clarify this, because I think that some people have this twisted. When people say no snitching is Chip and I robbed the bank. I get caught and I say, well, Chip was with me. That's snitching.
Oh, yeah, that's snitching, bro.
Right.
We were both dead wrong.
That's straight
Right.
dry snitching, but hey,
But I'm going to tell you this.
you
If you bother me to keep from, harming you, I'm going to call the police.
Right.
If you do something to me, you steal my car,
right,
you slap me,
right,
I'm calling the police.
right.
And that's just me being real, so that.
No, that's
But I had to
100%.
just put that out there, because I think people get it twisted
Yeah, I was
about
gonna,
cooperating with law enforcement.
I was going to ask that question. I was going to kind of clarify that too. But are you able to carry?
Yes. So because of that situation where I got shot at for my glasses, right after that, I jumped into a CPL class because I was paranoid. And every time I took the trash out, I was in the mall, going to the bathroom, I had my pistol with me. So at the time, I wasn't working in law enforcement. But now in law enforcement, I carry for my job, and I also carry, personally.
What you carry for your job?
For my job, we have Glock 19. It's 9mm.
Okay. Got that glitzy Glock.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Not
Smooth.
Smooth. Not Chip.
that glizzy.
So, like, when you were talking about that situation, when you got a constituent, when you was in city council, that's coming like, look, we got this issue over there. We got to handle it. It's a violent situation. How hard is it to get? Like, do you get people to come with you all the time? Like, I need you to fix this, and
I
this,
was just about to
and
go
you
there.
don't do it. Well, you ain't for me. You ain't for us. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you get that a lot. When people elect you, they're expecting a change, and people think change happens overnight, and it doesn't. You figure this stuff been going on for years, and then they expect that you to play God. And at the end of the day, you really don't have the answers to the black on black crime, but I think we do have the answer, meaning that, like you said, the snitching thing. A lot of times, they see who killed Ray Ray and Pookie, but they said they're not gonna tell because they know the family. But this is your man's that you was in the
Right.
car with.
Right,
Make it make sense to me, fellas. Y'all don't want to say nothing?
right.
And then the police can't solve a case because they only can go off what they have. They after this crime scene, they're late. They don't know. So we don't say nothing. That's why it hurts my heart when they be like, well, the police ain't doing their jobs. How can they do their jobs if y'all not
Right.
helping them?
Y'all not helping them or giving the intel that they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Now, just kind of going with that theme a little bit, but also more on the political side as far as, like you said, being city council.
Yes.
A lot of people, I understand the politics side of it. A lot of people don't understand this. So just to kind of help clarify this for people. you get a lot of people that'll run on a ticket or run on an issue, and they got this issue they want to fix, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. And like you said, everybody thinks that you're God, and you can just come in and just, boom, clean slate, snap a finger, and everything's done. But realistically, those are the things you want to do. But in reality, how many of those things can you actually really get done? Let's say you got about 4 or 5 things that you're like, hey, I'm going to do this in the community, I'm going to do this, and my plan is to do that. How many of those things, because of the whole, everything, can you really push through or really get done?
I'm gonna speak from my point of view.
That's what we want. Yeah.
My point of view, I think when you have that type of power and leadership of that community, you can make a change.
There we go.
It's if you got to have that vision. First of all, you got to see things before you see it.
Right.
A lot of times they don't. Then sometimes I'm thinking like, do they really want the community to change?
Right.
But it depends what community you in. You know what I'm saying? Like now in our community, we have speed bumps. That's not in Bloomfield Hills.
Right.
Man,
We got license plates readers. People, I'm telling the business now. They got little sticks, poles they put up with look like it's solar panels.
Oh yeah.
Those are license plate readers.
Oh yeah.
Those don't happen in other communities, man.
Oh yeah.
So when I sit on the board as the mayor, the council, state rep, Congress, yeah, I think things can be done. They can be done by better police presence. First of all, people know. It's so crazy because people know when the police officers get off work. They know what time they're going to circle the block.
Shift change and it, yep.
You still have people in some areas still stand on the corner with the 80s mentality of selling crack cocaine, which now we all know that crack is whack now because what they say is more fentanyl put in it. And we have a lot of people been passing away now, fentanyl overdose, but they're not talking about it.
Right.
But, I mean, as politicians, yes, we can make an impact, but we just got to have that on our agenda.
There we go.
So how, because when you look at it, the mainstream votes, how important is the city council votes and getting people in city council votes more important than like the presidency and all that other stuff, especially because you in your community or whatever?
That's it.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. The city council is important because that's your community. That's your home. You control what goes on in your community. I know. He know what goes on in our community that we born and raised there. So that's where it's very important. That's why it's really important to have people in place that knows that community and has the same vision of trying to change instead of just sitting on a panel saying yes to everything.
Right.
No, you have to say no. And I do understand it's a give and take. Some things you don't want to pass, like new housing. At first I didn't want to pass, but I know we needed new housing. But I was like, okay, what if we change the people who comes back, switch the tenants? You can't have the same tenants come back because you're gonna have the same mess.
Right.
And what happened is they got an area over there they call Murder Island. But there's new housing, bro. There's new housing over there.
Really?
Someone said it to me about Murder Island. I say, what? I said, that's what y'all call it? But yes, there has been a lot of shootings over there. New housing, new development, beautiful.
It's like beautifying the projects and making them look more update instead of the old rundowns like we used to in the 80s and 90s, and now they just beautify, but it's still the project.
The mindset.
Yeah.
You put new siding on it, call it the
Right.
Man, and it looks good over there. But
give it a whole new name, so instead of it being a project, so-and-so's housing development.
Corktown.
Like, yeah.
What's Corktown? Ain't that old cash corridor? Man.
It's over there in that area.
Yeah, but politicians have to really get on their jobs and really have the agenda for the community and be for the people. Don't talk saying you for the people, but your action showing something totally different. Right. You have to get out. I feed me and my church. We feed people. We know there's a need to feed the community. So then you have to get deep into that. Why you need to be fed? What's going on? Mental illness? We know that's a big topic right there.
Right.
Yeah. So, and this is just me. Well, because like I said, I was talking to you earlier. We had the Ecorse Big Day book that teaches kids how to maneuver around unsecure firearms. But it was always pushback with the communities, and I'm talking to some city council members. The moment I mention I say every time I talk to people, it's firearm. I mention the firearm, right? So I'm like, look, we got this curriculum that helps kids how to navigate around unsecure firearms. We teach gun safety. The moment they hear gun or in the conversation, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you talk to such. and then I don't never get a call back. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the gatekeeper to talk to about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, to get it into this, especially in like, because I was really trying to get it not like all over, but like in Ecorse and downriver, because it was a small knit community. Right. I could start there, you know, start moving up so people can see what we're doing. But I just kept getting the runaround.
Well, first thing you got to get involved with someone who cares. So you can reach out to some of the council members, but just know that the council has so many things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you who can play a big part, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The churches.
Mm-hmm.
The churches has a big congregation that can really say, okay, we can hold meetings about firearms and safety.
Gun safety.
Because it's real out here.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's real in the field for sure.
Man, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people buying these weapons is not really concerned about the safety mechanism of. When I went to my training, I sat in the class, which I know some people don't have to sit in the class. I sat in like a 2-day class, and
you're supposed to.
Hey, that part.
You're supposed to.
That part.
Right. Yeah.
You know, learn the safety of it first. That was my first concern, was safety. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to shoot my own self.
Right.
And then also I wanted to have it locked up just in case someone was to get the ups on you. And I'm pretty sure people have more than one firearm. You know what I mean? But the safety is so important. But that's something that really, like guys like me and him now, we can really push stuff like that to teach the gun safety, because it's so important for our community.
Right. So, you know, Whitmore, you know, she proposed the gun safety.
Yes.
Big Gretch. But so this is a Vaultic safe. Now, I bought this I had this probably for like 5-6 years.
Fancy.
But hey, it's great though, right?
That's a good one though.
So it's a good safe, right? So my thing was, look, I'm a responsible armed citizen. So first time I bought a firearm, I bought a safe. It was a metal one. I think I bought it from Harbor Freight or something. It was just a little whack.
$20, George.
$20, but
they work though.
I carry my firearm all the time. So when I'm, you know, at home or sleep or whatever, or, you know, somebody's just in the house or whatever, I take it off and lock it up. You know, so usually I carry my firearm 24/7. It's never off of me at all. Mm-hmm. But anytime that I do take it off, I put it in the safe. Now I just ain't understand how, but we was talking like, now if a kid gets a hold of a fire, like this is the bill that's proposed, that I think she signed off on it. If the kid get a hold of a firearm and he hurts himself, it's 5 years.
5 years and 5,000.
5 years and 5,000. Now, if he kicks the gun out of gets a hold of a firearm and kills himself or kills somebody else, it's 15 years.
15, I believe it's 15,000.
Yeah, 15,000.
15,000 or 10,000, but I know it's up there.
But, you know, I was asking you about it. I was like, well, why do I, if I'm a responsible armed citizen, why do I need to be told I need to go get a safe or some secure? But go ahead, Chip.
You are responsible,
right?
But you got others out there not. Like you said something about earlier, we said something about some people has to be put on punishment.
Yeah, punishment.
And I like that what you said. That was on point. It is. And Tate probably can, you know, touch better on that, but it's something some people just gotta get that slap on the wrist.
Get that spanking, I understand. I was just like, listen, man, look, this was $200. I think it was $200. I got it from Uncoil Firearms right there on Middle Belt, the homies. But you know, it's hard. You can shake it, break. You can't get into this thing unless you got the number, right?
And you say how much that costs?
$200.
Now see,
told you he fancy, man.
That's a fancy one. Now, like you said, you can get one cheaper if someone say I can't afford it. So it's really no excuse. You can get one for $20. As a matter of fact, some places give them for free.
Yeah,
because they have the one with the string go through it.
Right.
Yeah, every time you buy a new firearm, you have to actually sign a paper saying that you received the lock that comes with it. They have to give it to you.
Absolutely.
Even I think now, even as an individual, like a person-to-person sale, you don't have to. But anytime you get it from a store, they have to give you some type of locking mechanism with it, though. Yeah.
So the bear gonna love this one. Hey, Tate, watch this. Hey, Tate, what was your first gun you bought?
My first pistol was a High Point 9mm.
My man, see, somebody that understands that you can't always just come out the gate with that hot stuff, man. Sometimes it just
what was your first firearm you bought? Please say something not about High Point.
I looked at the High Point, but I just ain't want to be a High Point. So I didn't get that. I want Smith & Wesson, man. 357.
He went super hard.
Let me explain something. For
One second. Everybody that buys a High Point always got an explanation.
You only explain it to KJ.
Listen.
I understand, brother. Go ahead.
I do have an explanation.
He had
One,
he had a
I have 2 children, and I'm single at the time, for one. So my crumb snatchers snatch the crumbs before they hit the floor.
There you go.
And parents, fathers especially, know what I'm talking about, for one.
I got you.
For 2, I went with something that I could afford at the time because I was fresh off of getting shot at, and I was paranoid. I was scared to death.
So you
I couldn't afford at the time a $400-500 pistol. You know, what I did was I went and got that pistol for about $170.
About $107.
And I still have it.
You still got
it. And it still works.
Vintage.
Hey, it works until it don't. That's
He a different ball game for me because I don't have mine.
So what'd you upgrade to?
So I have an FN 40 cal.
Okay.
Now, so
fancy too, shooting.
but you know what I did? True story. I went to a gun shop in Taylor. I'm not a paid spokesperson, so I'm not gonna put them out there. But I found a slightly used.
There you go.
And I bought it for like maybe $300, and I have not had any problems or jams out of it whatsoever.
Yeah, Evan Herstall is a great brand, and that's something we haven't touched on. Maybe we can do a segment on used guns, but that's the thing that a lot of people, especially like in our community, don't realize that like guns are not like cars.
No.
You know, you put miles on a car, the more, you know, it depreciates, you know what I'm saying, the breakdown of it, so forth, so forth, so forth. Guns are not like that. You have to put so many rounds, which the average person is not going to shoot through. Even me and him aren't even probably going to put enough through for it to be like, oh, man, this worn out. I need to get a new one. It's not like that. Used gun market is probably your best bet when you're a new shooter or just looking for something in particular, because you're going to get basically a great functioning gun for like maybe not half, but a quarter of the cost.
Right. And
it'll last you for as long as you want to keep it until you decide you want something different. But even then, I would still go used market. Some things that you do want new.
Okay.
You know.
I'm gonna put a little stamp or something on it. I'm gonna say if you buy used firearm, it's gonna have to be a used Glock, Smith & Wesson, FN, or SIG. I'm not buying nothing else after that.
I mean, definitely something quality, but that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy. Even back then, not having it, I'm not gonna buy a used High Point versus the new. But my point is, like you said, you can get those same quality guns for way less than what it is. Like prime example, my Glock 19. I got a Gen 5, but when the Gen 5 came out, it was brand new, and because it was brand new, it was like $650. Just so happened to be at a gun shop on the east side, and it was on the used side, and I said, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "Dog, that's brand new. Why is it on the used side?" The guy had literally, I guess they got a customer that does this. He came in there, bought it brand new, only ran through like 4 mags, legit. That's it, and then brought it back. Wow. So literally, it wasn't even broke in.
It wasn't broke in at all.
And I got it for way less than $600. So I got basically a brand new Glock 19 with everything on it. It was so clean, like. You could tell it didn't have no powder, no nothing on the mags. And, you know, the new one's got the orange follower, so you would think nothing. It was just brand. I'm like, if you say so, bro, this look new to me. So if you want me to pay you used prices, cool. So you know,
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
hey,
price is right, and then you know they certified too. They not gonna sell you like a hoopty. Someone ain't gonna tell you the battery dead and it's retagged and stuff like that.
That's what
I you know what? I was in there. I was at Uncoil Firearms. I seen like 6 people come in and sell their firearms, and I was like, wow. And these were like some of them were women that had kids, and some had issues at home they had to get rid of it, and I was just like, wow, these are some, you know, me being, you know, training and shooting, I understood. But since y'all carry, how many times a month y'all may shoot just personal? Go ahead, Tate.
I actually, I shoot about 2 times a year. I don't shoot monthly. Now, I'll do dry fires from time to time, you know, just sitting around, you know, and I obviously learn how to take my pistol apart, clean it, oil it, and put it back together. I do that for fun, just randomly, but I shoot twice a year formally because I have to shoot for work and then just to shoot. But the dry fire, honestly, has been one of my biggest helps. You know, in terms.
So
of
you doing something? I was gonna get on. I'm gonna get on y'all.
Some type of training.
I'm gonna get on y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Chip?
You know what? For me, I try to do it once a month. I was trying to do it really, to be truthful with you, because some of these places have like good specials during the week.
Mm-hmm.
I probably do it like every other month. And me and my cousins, we would go and I try to teach her the gun safety and then tell her to get the safety block box. And also I told her what your guy told me: invest in a safe.
Yep.
That's important. And see, really, no one had never told me about that, a safe. But that's really important. Get you a safe.
Now, I know you carry at the church, right? Do all the deacons carry firearms? Or some of them?
No, not all of them.
Not all of them?
Not all of them.
Okay. Do y'all promote more deacons to get them?
No.
No?
No.
You just leave it up to
Because,
them?
because everybody's not really into firearm.
Right.
So,
It's like their choice.
right, some that maybe was a police officer or in line of work I did, I will carry.
Okay.
But, police officers at these mega churches, they carrying. Yeah, yeah.
They got,
Hallowed be thy name.
I like that one.
and hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name. I like
guy's out
that.
of
I like
control.
that. That's what's up. I like that. Pun intended. I like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, I guess I just promote more of us getting out and actually we talked about this last week about if you buy a firearm, at least try to get out like once a week or twice a month, something. Just start off with doing something because it gets you more familiar with your firearm. It gets you more comfortable with it. I know things happen. You may not have time, but
Right.
if you have a firearm, you need to just bust it a couple times a month. Now, I ain't say you got to jump down a rabbit hole like me.
Say knock the dust off that
Like
boy.
the dust, get that hallowed be thy name out there.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you got to jump down a rabbit hole like me and Ryan. We out here shooting, training, and whatever. To me, it's like a getaway. You know what I'm saying? It's,
absolutely.
For me, that's what it is. But you know what was funny? Not funny. I was talking to this dude, Preston. He was from P3 Tactical. And it's in Georgia, Washington. It's in Washington, Georgia, Wilkinson County. They do it's called Tactical Games. It's called 1663 Tactical.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
His name Preston. I kicked it with him because we do competitions. So I was just like, hey, what's this about? So I think it's a 2 day. It's out in Georgia.
It's a 2 day event. Yeah.
So they got 450 private acres that they train on. So it's 2 days. They got stages, and you can go out there in teams of 4 to 6 and do like different scenarios where like you got individual competitions, you got team competitions, but you have to go through scenarios and they score by points. I don't know if y'all familiar with competition shooting as far as like IDPA and USP.
Yeah, my cousin from Texas taught me about that.
Right. So it's teams of 4 and 6. But I was just like, man, they got 450 acres of private land.
Yeah.
And it's like you can put your own team in it, but just to get groups together to go out there and train and just work on like just say something happens, scenarios, I ain't gonna say end of the world, but whatever, just go out there and train. I just thought it was cool. Cause I called him and kicked it about it. We supposed to do an IG live later on next week about what's going on. But I was intrigued because we shoot competition.
So do we got the invite?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to hear it.
Now listen, he says invite only, but you gotta run around in the dark. You're gonna get, it's hot. It's in Georgia. It's in October. But I'm gonna find out more information about it. Okay. So, if you got a team of 4 or 6, somebody got to know how to stop the bleed. Somebody, it's mission orientated.
Gotcha.
So we get the mission. We gotta get it going and get it out there.
So it's like paintball, like they had the mazes and stuff.
It's paintball extreme.
Oh, okay.
So you out there with live rounds. You out there with live bullets. It ain't no.
You're not shooting at each other now.
You're not shooting at
the target.
You shooting. They give you a plane. They shoot your target. You go on there and you get scored accordingly, right? And you get scored on points hitting on targets. You also get scored on tactical, whatever your mission was. I guess how much time and did you do it right or whatever. But I'm gonna find out more information. I was just intrigued that it was a group out there. It was like-minded brothers and sisters out there training at that level of training. Like we do some here. It's called ACTS. It's called American Confederation of Tactical Shooters. But it's more of a it's a 2-gun competition. It's 1 day, 5 stages, and we go out there and just run a gun. So to find out that somebody else was doing something like we were doing, I was intrigued. Yeah. I was just like, oh, I need to get out there and get busy. So me and Preston gonna talk. I guess the guy name is Dexter, a.k.a. Mr. Tactical Snowflake. He the one that started it. But it's a whole thing about why they call it 1663. I guess it has something to do with back in the war times and the black militias getting together.
Okay.
Coming together like they were one of the black militias then. But if you look on, I think it's 1663 tactical game, and you go to about page, here it's a just read it. It's real. You like, dang, okay, that's what's up. So it's very informative. So we're gonna kick it more about it. Hope I explained it the best I could for the information I got.
We ready to head down there, let's put us playing.
Hey, like
grab Genesis 556 and let's run.
Yeah, I told him I said I got shooters.
Wheels up.
I said I got shooters for sure, but we running around with doing other stuff.
A lot of other stuff.
I'm like, I don't know.
Between stuff.
I'm only good for 30 seconds. I can't do it all like 2 minutes.
Right. I'm trying to make my way to the next X match.
Right. 120 seconds is what we doing. That's as much as I can go. But I'm glad that you brothers came on the show, man. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your knowledge you gave, and everything. Like I said, the stuff with Chip. Give me your information as far as the story and everything you're doing, so I can post it.
Sir.
Tate, I know you can't, tape like a spy around here. You can't.
Right.
This big Tate. You know what I'm saying?
Wait till you retire. Just wait till you retire.
I gotta wait till Tate retire.
On the horn here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We were talking off the air. I was like, man, I got some questions for him, but we really couldn't get into it. But like I said, that's what the Pop Culture 2-3 about is to bring good brothers like these brothers that's like-minded, that's in the community, that's helping brothers get better from young to old. And I'm glad they showed up, came on the show. And it was a good one for me because this is, like I said, this is season 2. This is episode 1 of season 2. So it was a good pop-off. What you think?
Yes, sir.
It's fire.
Good one, man.
It's fire.
Okay, so like I said, hey, man, the chair is always open to you guys. Anytime you want to come back, you got something you want to get off your chest, Chip, you get to running for something else.
Right.
I was about to say, man, we doing big things. We going somewhere else. We going back to city council.
Some things brewing, man.
We like to get scoops around here.
To God be the glory. Whatever you put on my heart, and I have a lot of people in the community want me to do this and do that, but you have to really wait for the time is right because if you don't have a team, you can't do nothing.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
I still got a couple years left of shelf life, so Father Time ain't catching me yet. So
there we go.
I got some more,
you got some more fight in you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
yeah. So, Tate, Big Tate, you got any closing remarks, brother?
Man, I just appreciate the opportunity, man. It's always a pleasure to sit down with brothers and, politic and kick it and talk about issues that people don't want to touch or tackle. So, I just appreciate the opportunity and, thanks, brother, for his personal invite, because he pulled me in like, hey,
I got my boy, man. I got my boy. You want to come? I was like, all right. That's the first time
Didn't ask him.
I didn't ask him. He coming, man. I got I'm like,
pull your phone up. Put this on your calendar.
And then he called me and was like, yes, I got my man coming through. And then he said his boy coming. And then we started talking. I said, so wait. We talking about my man's? We talking about his boy? Who we talking about?
That's how he told me.
Yeah.
But I guess when people watch it and see it, and they can, like, you got the audio, but you got the video part. Like, they can hear it in your voice that y'all, like,
y'all care.
Y'all care.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
You can hear realness in real people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you definitely was shown out here. It was like, man, I don't want to cry. I remember I was helping these brothers, man, these young boys, and I was just like, so you can hear it in your voice, man. So I'm going to post it up. I'm going to send it to some, if y'all got Facebook pages, just share it as much as you can so we can get the message out there, get some more things popping with Pop Culture 223. So it'll be on the YouTube channel is called Pop Culture 223, but it's also up on all podcast platforms. Once the bear get it, edited up, it's going on there. It's Pop Culture 223 on all podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Amazon. It's everywhere. So it's no excuse not to listen to it. Odyssey, so you can share with who and everybody. So share with your family.
Tell them support y'all. Tell them y'all got cups and shirts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We gonna push.
Oh yeah.
Hey brother,
Push
that's what I need. See, that's love.
Yeah,
I just met him today. But if I know, but I know if I tell my auntie that shit was out here tripping, she gonna call him for sure. My auntie don't be playing, man.
Appreciate her reaching out to me too. That's love, man. That's love.
So that's it from Pop Culture 223, man, and we out of here.